So in the next 1 to 2 months, Odell Beckham Jr. is likely to sign with some NFL team. There has been speculation as to which team he is going to pick, which team is going to do their best to recruit Odell Beckham Jr. Of course, he injured his ACL, tears his ACL in the Super Bowl about 8 months ago, and it is expected that in some time in November he should be ready to go, and he will likely be signed by some team in the NFL. The team that I honestly predicted in the offseason where he would sign back to is the Los Angeles Rams, just because he was with them previously, and it sort of just made the most sense to me. But right now, with the uncertainty with them, they're 2-2. Who knows how they'll be looking in a month or so? Maybe Odell says to himself, you know what? I don't know if the Rams have a shot at a Super Bowl this year. Maybe I'll pick another team. And I do think the Packers are one of these teams that could be in the running for Odell Beckham Jr., and I'll give my opinion on if I like that or if I don't like that. Another team recently that has come up has been the New York Giants, because supposedly Odell was there in New York. I have a tweet right here from Jeff Howe. He says this: Odell Beckham Jr. was hanging out with some Giants players today, but he was not meeting with the actual team, according to a source. Nothing happening at the moment between Beckham and the Giants. Beckham isn't expected to be cleared to play until at least November. Then here we have from Josina Anderson. OBJ was able to say hi to a number of his former teammates while in the arena, including Sterling Shepard. For those asking, yes, free agent opportunities in the future will include exploring multiple teams, including his last one. I think he'd welcome wherever he's loved. So what I think Odell Beckham has done and has been doing in the summer, in the offseason, starting now as well, is he likes to sort of get the talk going when he comments on random posts, as he did here the other day. He actually tweeted this: Aaron Rodgers is too fire emoji. Honestly, bro, makes it look effortless. Then under here, someone says, Chris Williamson says, a lot of damage could be done with you and Rodgers. And Odell says, who you telling? That's a different breed right there. So praising Aaron Rodgers. We saw him do this a little bit earlier in the offseason as well. I've seen him comment on Joe Burrow's posts sometime, or the Bengals posts sometime in the past. He's here in New York talking with Giants players. So I think that Odell is sort of, figuring out what he most wants, and then he's probably going to see out of those top options which team will probably give him, the most amount of money, which is a reasonable thing to look at when you're trying to get signed by a team. But I do think the Packers could be one of those teams, and my personal opinion is I think the Packers should 100% go after Odell Beckham Jr. We saw it happen last year. Supposedly the Packers and the Rams are the final two to bring Odell Beckham in. Of course, he goes with the Rams, and the Packers don't have Odell Beckham Jr. But I think when we look at this Packers team, I do think, as I've said the past few days, that I do think this offense the trajectory is moving up. We've seen Romeo Doubs start to look better. I'm making a few mistakes, but overall, I really like what I've seen from Doubs. Lazard had a big game. Cobb is coming through on some, big, crucial third down situations. So I do like what we have at receiver, but Odell Beckham Jr., he's just Odell. He's elite. He has that ability to make things happen in big games and big situations, and I think when we look at the Packers, with them likely making the playoffs, I think that when that time comes to have a player of Odell Beckham's caliber, assuming he's fully healed from his ACL injury, which hopefully he will be, I think adding him to this Packers offense is just a no-brainer if the Packers are able to do it. Of course, it depends on the money, the cap situation. Does Odell want to go with Green Bay? And I think in the next, month or two, depending on how long it takes for him to fully come back and be ready to play, he's probably going to look around and see where does he have the best opportunity, what place makes the most sense to him. And Odell said in that tweet, he knows him and Rodgers would be a dynamic connection. Another reason, too, you never know what could happen with injuries. We've already seen Sammy Watkins go down with his hamstring injury. Hopefully he'll be back in the next few weeks, and we just don't know what's going to happen there. When we signed him, we knew there was a risk of him injuring himself, considering he has dealt with lots of injuries his entire career. So come playoff time, you never know if a guy like Lazard, Cobb, or Doubs gets injured. The Packers would need to have some more depth on the offense. So I think bringing Odell in, for me, makes lots of sense, and I would love if the Packers would do their best to bring in Odell. We'll see if it happens. I don't know if it's going to happen. Odell is probably looking all around the NFL. I've seen people mention the Chiefs, the Bills as well. So it's really just a lot of speculation. So if I had to put a percent chance he comes to the Packers, I'm going to go with 6. There's probably a 16 point. No, let's go lower. Let's go for, there's probably a 14.2% chance he signs with the Packers. That's my personal opinion, based on lots of statistical analysis, as you can tell. But feel free to comment, where do you think Odell's going to land? Would you like him to come to Green Bay? Because this is a mainly Packers channel. So if you're not a Packers fan, let me know where you think he will end up. But just wanted to cover that, with probably the next month or so. This will be discussed a lot just because his time of being healthy again is coming up, which means he'll probably be signing with some kind of team in the next month or so. So stay tuned for that. If you want to stay up to date with all Packers news and some other random things at times, feel free to subscribe. But thank you so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys next time.